Hello students, welcome to today's lecture. In today's lecture we are going to discuss about the topic DSB-FC, which comes under the unit number 2, that is the AM transmission and reception of a signal tone, and the topic of today's discussion is a DSB-FC, which is known as a double sideband full carrier. Learning objectives of today's lecture are to study the concepts of DSP-FC, the block diagram and the frequency spectrum representation of double sideband full carrier, and the total power of DSP-FC. Now before starting with our actual discussion, we will first discuss about the prerequisite needed for double sideband full carrier. So the prerequisite is a modulation. Now in case of modulation or in case of communication, generally we are not transferring the data as it is. If we transfer the data as it is, that technique is called as a baseband modulation. But baseband modulation is having a restriction that it cannot be used over a longer distance. So to transfer a signal over a largest distance, we come with the concept of modulation. So what is a modulation? Modulation is a process in which a feature, that is amplitude, phase or a frequency of a carrier signal, is changed in accordance with the instantaneous value of a modulating signal. And why we go for modulation? So the need of modulations are, first thing is to increase the bandwidth of a signal. Second one is to reduce the antenna height. Now what are the different types of modulation? Now as per the definition, we are changing the nature of a modulating signal. So we are having a carrier. So generally a sinusoidal signal is represented by S of t, A of t cos omega ct phi t, where A of t represents the amplitude, omega ct represents the frequency, and phi of t represents the phase. Now if you vary any one of these three parameters, it will defines the name of the modulation technique. So likewise, if we are changing the amplitude of the carrier signal in proportional with the message signal, it is called as a amplitude modulation. If we are changing the frequency of carrier signal in accordance with the modulating signal, it's called as a frequency modulation. And if we are changing phase in proportional with m of t, that is a modulating signal, it is called as a phase modulation. So based on that, we are having three categories of modulation: amplitude modulation, frequency modulation and a phase modulation. Now in today's session we are going to discuss only about the amplitude modulation. So what is an amplitude modulation is? In amplitude modulation, the amplitude or your signal strength or the voltage of a carrier signal is varied in accordance or in proportional to the message signal being transmitted. So this is a representation of a AM wave. If you have a look towards this representation, this is your input signal, that is your modulating signal, this one is a carrier, and here is a now here if you observe, there is a change in a voltage of a modulating signal. So there is a change in a voltage of a carrier signal. This is your carrier signal, its voltage is changed in accordance with your modulating signal. So this waveform represents the nature of an amplitude modulated signal. Now I'm going to discuss this again. This is your carrier wave, this one is your signal, input signal, and if you observe, this carrier wave frequency is greater than the frequency of a modulating signal, and here it is changing. The amplitude is not constant, it is changing. See, the nature of amplitude is increasing and decreasing, and this change is in accordance with your amplitude of a modulating signal. So this is how we are getting AM signal. So whenever the word AM comes, so there is a change in amplitude only. Now what are the different types of amplitude modulation? First one is a double sideband amplitude modulation is a first category. Under that first one is a double sideband full carrier. Second one is a double sideband suppressed carrier. Now second category is a single sideband amplitude modulation. Under that we are having SSB and a VSB. Now begin with our actual topic. So double sideband full carrier or DSB-FC is defined as a double sideband full carrier. Its name indicates it is having a double sideband or both sidebands are present along with the carrier which is present. Now the block diagram. So the first block is a modulating signal, which is our actual signal or the information. This signal is applied to a modulator along with the carrier. Now carrier is a higher frequency, is a signal of a higher frequency. Now these two signals are applied to the modulator, and at the output of a modulator we are getting a double sideband full carrier signal. So this is a generalized block diagram of a DSB-FC. It is very easy to implement. It is having only basically only a modulator, and two signals are applied. First one is a modulating signal and second one is a carrier. The frequency of a carrier is greater than, it is having a very large frequency. The frequency of carrier is in megahertz, so that is used to carry a signal over a longer distance. So therefore we are using a carrier of a higher frequency. These two signals are given to the modulator, and modulator will generate double sideband full carrier signal. Now, one of the important concept of double sideband full carrier or any modulating technique is a modulation index. So what is a modulation index means? The modulation index or a modulation depth of a modulation scheme describes how carrier signal varies around its unmodulated level. It is given by a formula, that is Vm by Vc, where Vm is the amplitude of a modulating signal and Vc is the amplitude of a carrier. So it defines how the carrier signal varies around its unmodulated level. So this is the unmodulated signal. Before modulation is your modulating signal, and this is the strength of a carrier signal. So this defines the modulation index given by Vm by Vc. Now, what are the effects of modulation index on AM wave? So it plays a very important role in the nature of our modulated AM output. So if my modulation index M is equals to 1, it indicates the voltage level of Vm is equals to voltage level of Vc. So if it is so, this is a nature of modulation. This is the nature of an AM wave. So here, as M is equals to 1, the maximum level, so the maximum level reaches the twice or no modulation level, and this level with a no modulation. So here there is a touching. If you recall the basic diagram of modulation index, where we have seen M is less than 1, this part is not intersecting, but when my modulation index is equals to 1, this part is intersecting. If my modulation index is less than 1, so this is a perfect modulation. So here there is no interfacing, and if you observe over here, this modulating signal, this is the nature of modulating signal, and middle one is your carrier, and the carrier voltage is changing according with the modulating signal only. And next one is, if my modulation index is greater than 1, this condition is called as a overlapping condition or a over modulation. So if this thing happen, you will observe the envelope overlap. So there is an overlap of envelope. So this condition is called as an over modulation condition, or you can call this as in this case the carrier exhibits the phase reversal. So there is a change in a phase in over modulation condition. So these three are the conditions of AM wave. It depends on its modulation index. So generally the perfect condition for modulation is that modulation should be, or M should be less than 1. Okay, so this is the logic for, or this is the effect of modulation index on AM wave. Then the equation of AM. So modulating signal or your input signal is given by Vm is equals to Vm sine omega mt, where this Vm indicates the instantaneous value of the modulating signal. Vm indicates the amplitude of a modulating signal, and sine omega mt indicates the frequency of a modulating signal, but this frequency is defined by omega, means this is in the radian. Similarly, we represent the carrier waveform as Vc is equals to Vc sine omega ct, where Vc is the instantaneous value of a carrier. Small vc indicates the amplitude of a carrier. Omega c indicates the frequency of a carrier in terms of a radian. Now, in case of DSB-FC, how we are obtaining the DSB-FC? Now, as per the definition of DSB-FC, it is obtained by superimposing the modulating signal on a carrier. So, if you recall the basic diagram of modulating signal of AM, the nature of the carrier waveform or the carrier amplitude is changed in accordance with the amplitude of a modulating signal. So for getting that, this is a representation of a modulating signal. VAM is equals to VAM sine omega ct. Now why I have given here sine omega ct? Because if you recall the the waveform, in that waveform the frequency of a AM modulating signal is same as that of the frequency of a carrier, so it is the same. And about VAM is a voltage of the modulating signal. So how we are going to get that VM? So this VAM is nothing but the addition of VC plus VM. Now what is this VC is? This VC is a peak to peak voltage of a carrier, and VAM or Vm is the instantaneous voltage of the modulating signal. Now putting the values, Vc remains as it is. What is Vm? Vm is Vm sine omega mt. Now again from the definition of a modulation index, what we know, m is equals to Vm by Vc. So this Vm gets replaced by m Vc. Vc remains as it is. This Vm is replaced by mVc sine omega mt. Now what finally we are putting the value of VAM in the final equation. So VAM is equals to, putting this value, Vc plus mVc sine omega m multiplied by sine omega ct. So this comes out to be the representation of amplitude modulated signal. So it is given by Vc. This Vc is the peak to peak voltage. 1 plus m is a modulation index. Sine omega mt, this is the frequency of a modulating signal, and sine omega ct is a representation of a carrier signal. So this is a final equation of a amplitude modulated signal, that is a DSB FC signal only. Now we are representing the same signal in a frequency domain. So for frequency domain, we are taking the actual equation. Vm is equals to Vc 1 plus m sine omega m t sine omega c t. Now we just multiply, just open the bracket. So Vc remains as it is. Vc into 1 is 1 multiplied by sine omega ct. So this terms comes out to be same. Vc into m sine omega mt into sine omega ct comes out to be second term. Now we are having some trigonometric identity, and by using those trigonometric identity, that is sine a into sine b is equals to half cos a plus b minus cos a minus b, and we are applying the same over here only. And by applying that, we are getting the equation as Vc sine omega ct as it is, and this half is, we have taken Vm common. So Vm by 2 cos omega c plus omega m minus Vm by 2 cos omega c minus omega m. Now this is a representation of this is a representation of a AM wave for defining or for representing it in the frequency domain. Now from that equations, what we come to know is we are having two frequencies. First frequency is omega c minus omega m. Second one is omega c plus omega m, and that omega is a representation of a signal in terms of a radian. Now here we are representing that radian into a normal frequency domain. So we are having that omega c is replaced by fc. So this is your first frequency, that's a f. USB is your upper sideband frequency given by fc plus fm. FLSB is a lower side frequency given by fc minus fm. And we know omega c, when we are representing any frequency into radian, it is given by 2 pi fc. So omega c is represented by 2 pi fc and omega m is represented by 2 pi fm. Now putting this value in the final equation of AM, we are getting that equation as Vc sine omega c t, or your fct, Vm by 2, we are replace that omega m by 2 pi fm and omega c by 2 pi fc. So we are having 2 pi fm plus 2 pi fc. We have taken 2 pi common, so we are having fm plus fc, and here we are having fm minus fc. So this equation is made up of three parts, 1, 2 and 3. So this first part represents the carrier, this part represents upper sideband, and this part represents lower sideband. And from this three terms, we draw the frequency spectrum. And as you all are aware of what is a frequency spectrum, so frequency spectrum is nothing but a representation of any equation in terms of a frequency, where your x-axis indicates the frequency level and the y-axis indicates the voltage level or the power level. So from that equations, this is my frequency spectrum. So in this frequency spectrum, first is my modulating signal Vm. Now first is my carrier, that is, you can write it anything. It is fc is also okay, omega c is also okay. When we are writing fc, fc indicates frequency in normal domain, omega c represents frequency in the radian domain. So this is frequency in the radian mode. So omega c is your first frequency, this is your carrier with an amplitude of a. Next one is fc or omega c plus omega m with an amplitude of a, Vm by 2, we have just seen. And next one is m Vm by 2, and next one is your omega c minus omega m with an amplitude of ma by 2, or this depends, or you can write it as a mv by 2, anything, mv by 2, where m indicates your modulating signal, v indicates your voltage, and divide by 2 is the level. So find the maximum voltage is assigned to the carrier, and your sidebands are having a voltage of mv by 2 or ama by 2, anything. So this is a representation of DSB FC signal in a frequency domain. It is having 3 bands, 1, 2, 3, and from this we are going to find out the bandwidth. Now we know what is a bandwidth. Bandwidth is nothing but the difference between the higher frequency or a lower frequency, or it's a range of frequency over which the particular system works. It is defined by the difference between the higher frequency and the lower frequency. So here higher frequency is Fc plus Fm and the lower one is Fc minus Fm. So my bandwidth comes out to be twice Fm. So the bandwidth of a AM signal is a twice Fm, where Fm is a frequency of a modulating signal. Now we go for a total power calculation of AM. Now whenever we are transferring a signal over a longer distance, we have to find out the power. So the power of a AM signal is given by 3 parameters. So AM signal is made up of 3 basic parameters. First one is a carrier signal, second one is a upper sideband, and third one is a lower sideband. So to find out the total power, we have to consider the power of a carrier, power of a upper sideband, and the power of a lower sideband. So power P, we all know P is given by voltage square by R. So the voltage of power PC is Vc square by R. The power of upper sideband is given by voltage of upper sideband square, or voltage of upper sideband square by R, and the lower sideband is given by voltage of LSB square by R, and this all values are in RMS. So we need to convert this RMS value, or we are having the values which are in peak to peak, we need to convert them into the RMS. So we just have to make them equivalent. So we know the conversion. So Vc is equals to Vc by root 2. So this is a conversion for RMS values. So my PC is given by Vc square by twice R. We are just doing the conversion. So the voltage which this formula is for, this particular formula is for my voltage which is in RMS, and the voltage which I am having is a peak to peak. So I need to convert them. So for conversion, Vc peak to peak is equals to Vc divided by root 2, and I am just putting the value of Vc over here. This Vc is a peak to peak voltage. So I am just putting the value. So I am taking the square of this. So Vc square become, and root 2 square is 2. So my power of voltage, or the carrier power, comes out to be Vc square divided by twice R. Similarly, I am doing with the upper sideband and the lower sideband. So the voltages, I am just converting those voltages into those voltages I am having in the peak to peak, and I am just converting them into the RMS. But here one thing is very important. The voltage of upper sideband is given by MVC by 2. So here this voltage is Vc by 2 only, and this one is MVC by 2. So by putting this in the formula, my upper sideband voltage comes out to be m square Vc square by 8R. This 2 square is 4 and root 2 is 2. So 4 into 2 comes out to be 8R. So my upper sideband voltage comes out to be m square Vc square by 8R, and similarly is the voltage for the lower sideband, because both are having same voltages value. So upper sideband and the lower sideband voltages comes out to be m square Vc square by 8R. Now putting in the formula of AM, I'm just put on all the values of a power in the formula of the PAM, and after putting my total voltage of the, I've just take on the common part. So PC is my common term. Why this PC comes out to be here? Now, because in every formula you are having that Vc square twice R is there. So this Vc square twice R is replaced by PC. Similarly, from this section I have taken Vc square by twice R common, and that was replaced by PC. So by taking Vc square by twice R common, I am having only M term, and here we are taking 2 common. So A divided by 2 is 4. So M square 4 term is there. And similarly it is applicable to the lower sideband. And the total power, we are having this term, and after solving this, my total power comes out to be PC 1 plus m square by 2. So this is a formula for finding total power of a DSB FC signal. So the total power is equals to PC 1 plus m square by 2. So from this formula we come to know the total power depends upon the power of a carrier and the modulation index. So if you vary any one of this parameter, the total power is going to be changed. So this is PT by PC. The relation is given as 1 plus m square by 2. So this is a ratio of total power divided by the carrier power. Now the frequency spectrum of a AM having two modulation index. Now we are having a condition where multiple signals are transferred, means we are having a one carrier, and that one carrier is used to carry multiple signal. So in that case we are having multiple upper sideband and multiple lower sideband. So formula for in that case it comes out to be PT is equals to PC 1 plus m total square by 2. This m total is a modulation index in total, and it is given by under root of m1 square plus m2 square plus m3 square. So this is a condition, or this is a formula when we are having more than two modulation index are there, or more than two waveforms are there, modulating signals are there. Then efficiency of a AM signal. Now the AM signal is represented by Vm omega Ct plus Vm by 2 cos omega C plus omega m minus Vm by 2 cos omega C minus omega m. Now the total power of a AM signal PT is equals to PC 1 plus m square by 2. The relation we have just seen, or we can write it as PC is equals to PT divided by 1 plus m square by 2. Now if my modulation index is equals to 1, the highest value of a modulation index, that m is equals to 100%. So in that case what I come to know, PC is equals to 2/3 of PT. I have just replaced this m by 1 only. So from that what I come to know, or what we come to know, that the total power or the power consumed by the carrier is 2/3 of the total power which we are transferring. So the total it is utilized by carrier only, and actually carrier doesn't carries any information. Carrier is just a mode which carries the information. So the 2/3 of the total power is utilized by carrier only. So there is a wastage of a power, and therefore as this is 2/3, so efficiency of AMs comes out to be 1/3 only. So it is having, so the 2/3 is wastage, so efficiency is 1/3. So the efficiency of AM signal is only 33%, and the wastage is 66.66% to be precise. Now we are going to solve few numericals. So the first numerical is a 400 watt carrier is modulated to a depth of 75%. Calculate the total power in the modulated wave. So from this numerical, first part is we have to extract which parameters are given to us. So what they have given, so given parameters are PC is equals to 100 watt. Now here directly they have mentioned carrier is modulated, means this voltage belongs to the voltage of a carrier only to a depth of 75%. So modulation index is 75%, that is 0.75, and they have asked us to find out the total power in a modulated waveform. The formula is to find PT, and the formula is PT is equals to PC 1 plus m square by 2. So PT is equals to PC 1 plus m square by 2. Then we put on all values. So PC is 400 and m is 0.75 square, and my total power comes out to be 512.5 watt. This is a very simple example, very basic example is there. You just have to mention which values are given. So PC is given, modulation index are given, put it in the formula and find out the total power. So the total power in this case comes out to be 512.5 watt. Second numerical, a broadcasting transmitting radio radiates 100 kilowatts when modulation index is 60. How much is the carrier power? Now here which parameters are given? So first thing is given to us is a broadcasting transmitter radio radiates. So this is the power of a radiated signal. So the radiated signal is the total signal, or your AM signal, final signal. So therefore the total power comes out to be 10 kilowatt, and the modulation index is given as a 60%, 0.60, and what they have asked us, they've asked us to find out the carrier power. The formula remains same, PT is equals to PC 1 plus m square by 2. Now here PT is equals to PC 1 plus m square by 2 is a formula. We put on the values, and my carrier power is by taking the cross multiplication only. So PC is equals to 10k, that is a PT, divided by 1 plus 0.60 square by 2, and my carrier power comes out to be 8.47 kilowatt. Now in this you can directly see the total power is 10 kilowatt and the carrier power is 8.47 kilowatt. So from this also you can conclude that the carrier power is carrier the power of a carrier carries the larger portion of the total power of the EM wave. One more numerical. A modulating signal m of t is equals to 10 cos 2 pi into 10 to the power 3 is amplitude modulated with the carrier signal c of t is equals to 50 cos 2 pi into 10 to the power 5. Find the modulation index, the carrier power and the power required for transferring the AM signal. So here they have given modulating signal, carrier signal and ask us to find out the modulation index, carrier power and the power required. So the solution, so what they have asked us to find modulation index, carrier power and the total power. So let's begin. So the first, we go with the first part. So before that we have to extract the thing. So what they have given, so the given is the equation of a modulating signal as m of t is equals to 10 cos 2 pi into 10 to the power 3 m of t. So we know the standard representation of any signal is a m cos 2 pi m t. So from this we just extract the parameters. So what we come to know, the amplitude is 10 watt, we are just doing the comparison, and my frequency comes out to be 2 into 10 to the power 3. But this 2 into 10 to the power 3 is 2 pi into fm. So my fm comes out to be 10 to the power 3 and that is nothing but the 1 kilohertz. So my frequency of a modulating signal is 1 kilohertz. Similarly, what they have given as the equation of a carrier. So the carrier equation is given by Ct is equals to 50 cos 2 pi 2 pi into 10 to the power 5 t. We have just comparing it with the standard representation, and from that we are extracting the voltage of a carrier. So the carrier voltage comes out to be 50 and the frequency fc comes out to be 10 to the power 5. And once these two parameters are extracted, we go for finding out the actual values. So first is for modulation index. Now the formula for modulation index, m is given by m is equals to am by ac or vm by vc. The value of vm and vc or am by ac we have just extracted in previous two slides, and from that we are just putting the values, and my modulation index m is equals to 10 divided by 5 is equals to 0.2. So in this way we find out the value of a modulation index. So from this the modulation index is 0.2 and the percentage of modulation is 20%. So if you want to represent the modulation index in percentage, you just multiply that value by 100. So 0.2 into 100 comes out to be 20%. Next is carrier power. The formula for carrier power, Pc is given by Vc square by twice R. The value of here, as the value of R is not given, we have to assume that value as a 1. So if the values were not given, we just directly assume that value of R as 1 ohm, that's it, and substitute the value of power, substitute the value of a voltage of a carrier in the formula, and from that my total carrier power comes out to be 50 square divided by 2 into 1 is 1250 watts. So the carrier power comes out to be 1250 watt. And last one is the total power. So we know the formula of the power required of the AM is given by total power is equals to PC 1 plus M square by 2. In the previous two questions, or in the previous two bits, we have find out the value of a total value of the carrier power, and we have found out the value of a modulation index. So we just put those two values in this equation, and after putting those two values in the above formula, my PC is 1250 watt and my modulation index is 0.2, and by solving it the total powers comes out to be 1275 watt. That is a 1275 watt is a total power used to carry that modulated signal. So therefore the power requirement for transferring AM wave is given by 1275 watt. Now there are some drawbacks of double sideband full carrier. So as we have seen in the slide of efficiency, the 2/3 of a total power is utilized for carrying the carrier signal. Therefore the 66.66% of a total power is utilized by carrier, which contains no information. So as most of the power is used by carrier, the efficiency is only 33.3%. 33%. So this to us the drawback of using double sideband full carrier. Thank you so much. Hope you like this video. Thank you so much.